Hello, friends. It's time for Talk for Dodge, the show that uncovers the stories behind the houses in the heart of our community. I'm Jeremiahjcondon.
And I'm Todd McCubbin, and today we have two very special guests who we'll introduce in just a minute. But before we do, let's do a quick market update.
Market update. Well, it kind of feels slow out there, doesn't it?
It feels weird. There's a lot of houses on the market.
People ask me what the market's like, and weird is a good one. It's different.
Mm-hmm. We're so used to it being a buyer's market and just going and going and going, and all of a sudden there's just this little bit of, let's take a break for a little bit and let's think about things, and it's just been weird. Yeah. We're not used to it.
So here's what's weird is I thought it was slower than last year, just like from feel, and it's not. All the numbers are slightly higher, including days on the market.
Oh.
But there's more houses on the market. They're sitting longer. The prices last year was $155,000 was the average in Fort Dodge. Today it is $160,000. So the houses actually went up just a little.
There's our 5% for the year.
Yep.
Isn't that what we learned at the convention? Is houses go up 4 to 5% every year, and that's national average. Yep.
But that's less than 5% if you're a good mathematician.
I'm not. Math is hard.
But yes, let's go with it. All right. Featured house. We have a new listing, 1664 8.5 Avenue North here in Fort Dodge. That's close to Dodger Stadium, where all the action in Fort Dodge is.
That's true.
Every Friday night there's a football game, and this is a really, really cute house at 905 square feet, and it has a finished basement with a family room down there, 2 baths, and it's 2 bedrooms.
Nice. We'll have to go check it out.
We will.
So, would you like to introduce yourselves, tell you what you do, and why you're here?
Absolutely. I'm Janet Johnson. I'm the Chief Development Officer at One Vision. And the Chief Development Officer, what I do is all of the marketing and all of the fundraising and all the communications.
Okay.
So I say my team is the fun department.
Yeah, except for the fundraising. That's kind of the...
Well, that's
that one's fun too. You get to do fun stuff like foosball.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm Kelly Hinds. I'm the Chief Operations Officer with One Vision, so I have all of the direct service lines.
Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. What's a direct service line? Because I'm not very smart.
So that is the heart of what we do. It's the providing the direct support service to the individuals.
Okay.
So you do all the work, and Janet has all the fun.
Yep, that's true.
That sounds fair.
I have teams that do all the work, so to say.
Fair. I get that.
So did you just have a big event this weekend?
We did. We brought human foosball to Fort Dodge, and it was a blast. We had 5 teams. We were out at Fort Frenzy. It was last week, Thursday. Some of the people who played, it gets very aggressive. It's in a 20 by 40 foot court. So the people are actually the little human foosball paddles, and the teams played against each other, and Coke is the team that actually took away a very large trophy. So they will be, they have to come back next year and defend that trophy.
So does everybody act like dummies, or do they tie people like Weekend at Bernie's? Everyone plays dead.
We should tie people to it next year. No, they're free. They're free to move. They just got to keep their hands in the same spots.
They get to move horizontally, back and forth, but they can't move up and down. But it was very fun, and they got pretty aggressive.
Yeah, I heard there's a Peter Stockdale there that went way over and above. That was just almost
pretty good.
He was out there giving it us all.
The LeBron James of human foosball.
Exactly, exactly.
But yet he looked so relaxed the entire time. It's like he was meant to play.
That sounds right.
That's a true professional right there.
True professional. So back to One Vision. Can you tell us about the origins of One Vision? I mean, it's been around since the 60s, and that's a long time.
Absolutely. We started 53 years ago. We just celebrated our 53rd anniversary, and we came about with a group of family members and community leaders in the Clear Lake area that really found a need for people with disabilities. Back then, your only option was to go into nursing homes or state institutions, which neither of those were very good opportunities or choices for people with disabilities. So they thought about making a campus, which was in Clear Lake, and they brought together a campus of cottages where we brought people with intellectual and physical disabilities into one area that they could really not only just live, but really thrive. And so that was Opportunity Village. Well, it started off as Handicap Village, and then it went to Opportunity Village. And then in 2017, we renamed to One Vision. So in that time, we've learned so much, and we've really gone against the status quo of this is what has always been done, and this is what we're always going to do. So we keep challenging us, and we have now moved everyone off our campus because we found that really the best thing for people with disabilities is to live in homes like you and I do, with people that they want to live with in types of neighborhoods they want to live with. So they have the choice. And we, as of March of this year, moved our last person off campus into their own home. And we've introduced more lines of services and different ways that we actually care for the people we serve.
In Clear Lake. I just want to clarify.
In Clear Lake.
Yeah.
How does that translate here into Fort Dodge?
So in 1989, Northwoods Living actually started, and that's where we had started with 3 intermediate care facility cottages, where we can support 10 individuals in each of those homes. And then in 2010, we actually merged with, it was Opportunity Village at the time. So one of the reasons why Opportunity Village went through the rebranding in 2017 was because over time, we started to join forces, so to say, with all of these other providers. There was choices made independently in Webster City. There was a place in Osage, North Springs. And so just all together, we were all these individual agencies. So we decided to come together under one name, which was One Vision. One Vision to support individuals.
So I'm sure you're building in efficiencies as you grow like that and as you bring in others. And is that part of the One Vision was to build those efficiencies into these smaller communities that didn't have, the different things, the different opportunities for people? How has that played in, and what are some of your future ideas for where to take the at scale of efficiencies is what I think about when I think of, home building. If you build a whole row of homes, it's cheaper. But it's kind of the same way for you guys with more homes. You can have one payroll person, you can have one person in charge of certain things. And how does that work, and is that something that you're trying to do when you made One Vision?
Well, I don't know if that was the first thing on everyone's mind, was to kind of filter out throughout the area. I think it was, we had some providers that were having a difficult time, and in order to survive, to continue to provide the supports to people that really need them, we merged together. So I think there's a lot of smaller providers out there that they don't have the presence like One Vision does. So it's just over time, we're just trying to help all of the other agencies out there that do need that support. Okay. We would like to grow. It can be difficult because we're also primarily Medicaid funded.
Yeah.
And when you're Medicaid funded, sometimes you have to have alternate streams of funding, which is also why we have the fundraiser events, and we have the general store in Fort Dodge, the thrift store, in Clear Lake as well. And we
now
have
Waterloo.
And Waterloo. And so we have a few different endeavors to try to help lessen our reliance on Medicaid and kind of fill that gap.
Awesome. How does the political environment play into that? I'm not going to ask anybody who they're voting for or why, but is kind of the what's the word I'm looking for? All the nobody knows what's going to happen in the political. How does that affect Medicaid and your funding? Just the unknown.
Do you want to get that one?
And we can cut it out if you don't want to.
Well, I was going to say, I know we had the opportunity to talk to a couple senators and representatives, but a lot of the issues that we focus on are more local. Let's say making sure that there's housing that's accessible. And affordable, making sure that individuals maybe have the opportunity to earn more money and save it other than the $2,000 limit that they're kind of stuck with.
Yep.
So it's kind of a lot of smaller issues, but combined, they can really make a huge impact.
Awesome.
I think during the political season, we kind of get a little bit diluted. I know we, from a fundraising perspective, are very intentional about when we're sending out information because we don't want to get lost in that whole political rhetoric.
Yep.
So I think, and as far as Congress and Senate and making decisions, we're kind of in a lame duck situation. So it does affect us for sure, just in a different kind of way.
Okay.
At the end of the day, you still got to operate, and it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Because you can't control it. At the end of the day, you can't control it. So.
Right.
Correct.
Yep.
Right.
So what are some of the primary services that One Vision provides?
So One Vision provides supports to individuals with disabilities and brain injury or mental illness. And that could take a variety of different roles. So we have supports at the Intermediate Care Facility in Fort Dodge, where it's 24-hour services and supports. They live in the home. We have on-site nursing. We have everything from meals throughout the day, and we provide the support that they need for all of those areas. And then we also have community homes. It's home and community-based supports where somebody might live with 2 roommates or 3 roommates in their own home. It's their lease, and we are in their home providing 24-hour supports. And then we also start dwindling backwards a little bit with our traditional service delivery, which we'll probably touch on later, but it's our smart living. So that's actually still direct supports by our staff, but we're also supplementing that with technology. So we're stepping back a little bit and then taking ourselves out of the picture, because sometimes we're the awkward ones in those situations, and then supplementing it with technology because we use technology every day. So there's solutions in there for individuals. And then we have intermediate cares where we might go into somebody's own apartment or their home a couple days a week and just provide that extra support with maybe meal planning or healthy choices, or helping them at the doctor's office so that they are taking the medications correctly. We also have employment services, and we support people with helping connect with a job in the community, whether that's a job that they might typically post for on Indeed or however they advertise for it, or it might be some type of a position that we created a partnership with the business and they may have customized or carved a position, and then we support them on the job until they're successful.
Awesome.
And we also have host homes.
We also have host homes. So host homes is just a different type of service where we hire independent contractors. And so basically, like Todd, you and your wife could become a host home and earn income by having an individual live with you.
Okay.
And then, so we have those. And then we also have...
Can they babysit?
You've got
4 children.
I think you might have too many children. I mean, it's just got to be the perfect fit.
This might work out great.
But keep in mind, you're providing the individual the support. So
I know, I'm just being dumb.
I'm missing something. I know I am.
We also have our...
we have community integration.
Community.
So that is a team that's solely dedicated to helping individuals get out in the community, do activities that they want to do with that one-on-one support, or sometimes it's a group effort. If they wanted to go on a trip, we would help them figure out what's the best trip for them. If they would like to go to an amphitheater, if they'd like to go to a concert, we have teams internally that do that. They make sure that the individual has direct staff to help support them to do those activities.
That's cool.
That is cool.
Yeah.
So where does the technology come into play? I was reading these, and it sounds like there's a lot of technology that can do a lot of different cool things.
We're super excited about our smart living model. We are one of the very first companies really in the nation. We're, I think, second in the nation, and we are first in the state of Iowa to offer our smart living opportunities. It's just where we bring in technology into the homes of the people we serve to help them live a better life. And like Kelly had said, it kind of removes us. We started it because we all know there's a staffing shortage, and so it helps us serve more people with less people. But what we have found from our success stories is it has grown the independence and really helped the people we serve in so many ways that we didn't even think of. We have people who, our mission is to stand with and support people with disabilities to pursue their best life, whatever they choose their best life is. That's not for us to decide.
Yeah.
So we have one individual who really wanted to live by himself, and he wanted to live in his own apartment. And before Smart Living, we weren't able to do that. With Smart Living, he was going from 7 day a week, 24-hour care. So now he gets, I think, 1 hour a day service in person, and the rest is all remote. So that's super cool. We have another individual who, too, wanted to live by himself. His caregiver said, I don't think that's ever going to be possible. But because of, he has a smart device that he wears on his wrist that detects any falls. He can walk to the grocery store by himself. He comes back, and he is not, and these are his sister's words, he is thriving, not only surviving. So that's cool. We have another young man who lived with his parents, 18 years old. What 18-year-old wants to not move? They want to move away from mom and dad.
Like explore the world.
Right, exactly. So he got to move in with a bunch of other guys, and he too is doing great. And the relationship between he and his mom and dad has been phenomenal. And his mom said it's just so much better than it ever was when he was living at home. So it's all about the individual we serve and making sure that we're meeting their needs and helping them truly grow to be able to have the best life that they can have.
Well, I thought it was intriguing looking this, and like this one kid can do the baseball games.
Yes.
Yeah, he's pretty known
so like
for that.
you can do that from your house, or how does that
he
work?
goes. He actually goes to the stadium and he announces. I mean, I want him to be our influencer on TikTok because he is super connected.
He would, he'd be great at that. That'd be awesome.
Well, maybe he will be.
So I heard the fall device. What are some other examples of smart technology that, I just don't know. What is there?
Well, there's also room sensors. So that also can serve as a fall device too. But room sensors, there's, it's not any like special hidden secret or anything like that. It's anything from instead of a key to your bedroom to unlock your door, if you have some problems, maybe maneuvering your fingers with dexterity, all of that stuff, there's just a thumb lock or a thumb, just
lock.
like,
Yep, I've seen those.
Yep. And then we have the same for the outside of the house, the front door. It can either be the instead of a traditional key, it can have the thumb unlock,
Ring doorbell. Yep.
And the Ring doorbell. Yep. But for some, we also have smart smoke detectors. So they'll automatically ring in to our remote center or to alert EMS or firefighters in case that there's a fire.
We have smart stoves, smart refrigerators, toothbrushes that help with oral hygiene, Alexis, which we have one young man who really struggled getting up in the morning, and we actually had somebody there that would be there helping him get up. Now his lights go on gradually. It tells him to wake up. It gets a little louder each time, and he's now independently getting himself up, getting himself ready for work, and getting out the door.
Wow.
That's so cool.
And
actually, this sounds like my house because I have every smart device known to man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you have a smart toothbrush?
No, it's still, I have a toothbrush.
I'm so glad you have a
Toothbrush.
toothbrush.
I usually
You were
call
gonna
it a
go in.
toothbrush.
Well, what kind is it?
Well, and then we're actually just starting to, we identified a need for an individual for seizures because he has seizures. He's high risk. If he were to fall, that would be horrible. So it's just a Apple Watch connected to a app, and it'll alert us as well because it'll help us get to him faster if he's starting to have a seizure, just when he's starting to shake. And we've actually, with this one, we've identified that this just Apple Watch would be better than like a Embrace watch, which is kind of designed for seizures.
That's so neat.
They each have a monitor in the main part of their house that they can talk to a remote support person at any time of the day or night. Then typically they have the same monitor in their bedrooms, but nothing is recorded. It is extremely respectful of each person, and only the people that really want this technology are the ones that get it. And we go through a very extensive training and assessment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you'd have to, just to make sure they can everybody understands what's going on, what everything does. And
it's very customizable. So what we might use for one person is very different than what we would use for another person. And the technology is always changing. So we're super excited about this. This is something that, again, we're cutting edge on.
It's given people a better life.
It is.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
The way
exactly.
they personally want to live. And I think you kind of said that earlier. So how do you measure the success and impact of your programs on the people that you serve?
I usually say, how do we measure somebody's happiness? How do we measure joy? You know, when you how would you describe yourself when you're at your best? So some of the things are hard to measure; they're almost immeasurable. But I mean, if they're happy, they're content, they're healthy, they're able to do things with their friends and family when they want to do it. They're telling us what they want to do. They're more in control of their own life. They're able to take their own medications. They don't need us to administer them anymore. They're able to keep track of them. We have med machines as well. That's another piece of technology that we use. And
that has, I mean, we now have been live. We went live a year ago in July. So we now are starting to get some of the data. And our med errors, which were very low, are now 0%. So
which has been the goal the whole time. That it took a machine to make it work.
Exactly. And so now we're able to start getting some of the data that is, I mean, we've had to go around the horn a little bit for a year to start getting some of that data. But so far the data is amazing. But we don't have any data on happiness.
Oh, no. Yeah, you can fill out a 1 to 10 scale, but that's about it. So Likert scales just
survey,
don't give you
we could do a survey.
Give you all the answers you want.
So this might be a silly question because I think I know the answer, but can anybody like graduate out of the program? Like anybody like do really well and
it's
be like, the heck with you guys, I don't need you anymore.
Yes, and actually I was going to say there was a success story when it comes to it, because we had an individual that lived in a 24-hour site needing 24-hour staff support, and he was doing wonderful with his own goals, and the goals are all self-directed. I mean, there are things that they want to work on in order to learn something new and be more independent. And he actually moved from a house to his own apartment. And for that instance, we measured success when we went to go visit him for his time, and he said, "I don't need you."
Oh my gosh.
So I guess I would say that that's a success, because he advocated for himself and he didn't need us that day or, that week. So I think that's great. There are some individuals that'll kind of graduate through the levels of service where they might have less in-person staff support. They might have 24-hour services, and then it might go down to just 8 hours a day, or even a couple hours a day in their own home or in their own apartment. And then there's also people that we help connect with jobs. That's a lot easier to see, I guess, because we literally fade ourselves out of the job. That's the goal, is we fade ourselves out. They no longer need us. And then we're able to put our energy and our efforts towards somebody else that might need it more.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest challenges in finding housing and finding jobs for people when they come in?
I was going to say housing.
To
start with.
You just kind of talked about the market. So your market report was very encouraging to us.
Well, I know for housing, I mean, we're looking for homes that are accessible. We're looking for homes where if an individual uses a wheelchair, they're able to go down the hallway on their own. They're able to enter in their own bedroom or the bathroom.
Doors are wide enough. The rooms are big enough.
Yeah. Preferably all on one level. unless they don't use a wheelchair and they're able to walk up and they have a steady gait. Zero entry is usually preferred. That's difficult to find. So
I had a client probably 4 years ago. This was pre-COVID. And she goes, I need an accessible home. And it took me forever. Finally found her a home, a bit out of her budget because it was built in the last 10 years. Yeah. And, she absolutely loves it. But it's hard to find an accessible home. It is. Especially, in the price range that somebody could afford, with you guys. And it's, that one was $350,000 house.
Yeah.
Just because that's what we needed and that's where it was. And she goes, this is going to have to be what it is. And she was able to do it. But that's not, I can see where accessible housing could be the toughest challenge you guys have.
Yeah. Yes. And I mean, there's always modifications that you can make to a home to make it more accessible, like the cupboards where you actually just pull the rack out and it comes down to you. There's stoves that have all of the I'm not the cook, my husband's the cook, that have all of the things that you need on the front of the stove instead of way in the back. The knobs are
on the front.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And then showers, bathtubs, anything that's accessible. I mean, if somebody has to use a shower chair, they're not going to be able to step over a tub or even, a little piece of like a lip to keep the water in the shower. So it's all over.
And I can see where that's tough. Every time I get one, I'll call you guys. So
absolutely.
That'd be wonderful. That'd be wonderful. We're looking for one.
So I'm sure you guys, being a nonprofit, being in the communities and being so involved with the communities, can you tell us some of the partnerships you've had with maybe some schools, some colleges, some stuff like that, just to kind of get the people out there where they need to be?
Well, we have lots of, especially in employment, so that kind of moves us into the employment sector. We have hundreds of different businesses that we work with that help us employ people with disabilities. And again, it is truly a win-win-win. It's a trifecta of positiveness for the businesses who there is a employee shortage. I don't know very many businesses out there that aren't hiring and trying to find qualified people. It is a win for the person we serve because it gives them a sense of ownership and a sense of pride to be able to work. And it's a win for the community as we can have more people employed. So it truly does work. And we have great job coaches. They'll go into any business and talk to them.
Their skills are all transferable.
Yeah. And, and people typically think of, if you're going to hire somebody with disabilities, they're going to be the greeter at Walmart. They're going to be a maintenance person. But their skills go far beyond that. It's really, and our job coaches do an amazing job of sitting down with the people we serve and finding out what their loves are. What are their passions? What do they like to do? Where we have people that work in childcare, at the fire department, at NGT, which is a
internet or IT
IT service. I mean, it is way more. We also have people at Walmart that do grading, and we had Quick Start just call last week and said we need more people because the people are way more dependable.
Yeah, they're there every time.
We had dishwashers at the cellar that showed up every time.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't miss work.
They were there.
Yeah. We had a kid at Creative Cakes that would come in and fold boxes once a week.
Yes, you did. I was a job coach once in a while there too. Yeah.
And so our goal with that is to work ourselves out of a job. But we have people up at Diamond Joe Casino and Hy-Vee. I mean, there's literally hundreds of businesses across northern Iowa that we help people with disabilities actually find that purpose. And then it also helps the people, the businesses. I mean, it's filling a very important need. Do you want to talk a little bit about the job carving?
Yeah. So with job carving, usually it's all, it kind of intermingles with customization. So let's say that there's a business that has several positions that they need to fill. However, all of those positions, they need the staff member to be able to greet customers, to stock shelves, to unload a truck, to rotate merchandise, like every single thing you can think of. Well, sometimes we can go in and we can also like provide a objective look at a business and see what all of those needs are, to see if is there's one piece of it that maybe we could cut out, carve, which is kind of the only way I can keep that in my head, but carve out.
Pumpkin carving.
Yeah.
And what if we just gave that responsibility, or like those 3 responsibilities to this one person who could do it really, really well, and that frees up your staff to be able to do all of the other things. Because if you have somebody that you're employing, sometimes you have multiple tasks that you have to do, but you can't do them all 100%. So if you're able to kind of carve that piece out, have somebody else do it that really, really enjoys doing that. Maybe it's repetitive, maybe it's single step tasks or multi-step tasks, and then shifting all of that other, all those other responsibilities to your other employees so that they can focus on that because they're really good at it. That's kind of how we carve out positions.
Okay.
Just seeing like what are kind of your unmet needs and what are those things that if you had more time, you'd spend on it. And that's usually how we can create a position.
That's pretty cool. I guess I've never thought of it that way. I mean, we have those positions everywhere where, you greet somebody at the door, or you fold pizza boxes at Godfather's, fold pizza boxes at Shiny Top, or you do whatever. And I could really see how some
rolling
of those would
silverware at a restaurant.
Yeah, nobody
all
wants
that
to do
side
it.
work.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and then we had an individual up at Diamond Joe who really was intrigued by the big dishwasher, and that's what he wanted to do. But he started there, and then he worked his way up into being a cook, and has.
Oh, wow.
So our goal is to make them model employees, and he actually was named Employee of the Quarter.
Oh,
so,
neat.
I mean, we really, it's just, our goal again is to work ourselves out of a job and really help them have successful employment.
And all of this makes me so happy because this is Talk for Dodge, and what you guys are doing for the community is great. I mean, you're building people up, giving them jobs, giving them places to live, and making our community better.
So how
That's all I heard.
That's all you heard?
Yep.
Yeah, that's about
The
it.
whole
You
time.
got the gist.
Absolutely.
How can local residents help support One Vision?
There's lots of ways you can help. You can volunteer. We'll take, we have all kinds of events. We have, you can volunteer at the general store. You can get involved with the people we serve. You can donate. We'll always take money.
Or also donations to the general store, because all of the extra comes back just to help fund our services for the people that we support.
That is one thing we didn't talk about was along with our general store, we have our thrift solutions. So when we started the general store 50 some years ago, it was just really a store for the people we serve. And then it has evolved into a thrift store. And not every item that's donated to a thrift store is saleable. So what a lot of thrift stores find is they have a very large bill to send stuff to the landfill. So we have our thrift solutions that we started with One Vision thrift stores of taking our stuff and selling it on the commodities market. We now reach out to, there's over 90 different thrift stores that we go to. We pick up the things that they don't sell, so they don't have to pay to have it disposed of. We then go sell it on the commodities market. So we make money for our mission, and we help other nonprofits by they don't have expenses. And we saved 2.06 million pounds of stuff from going into the landfill this year.
Wow.
2.06 million pounds. That's a lot of stuff.
That's a lot of Todds.
Yeah, a
A lot
lot.
of pounds.
So, tell me about the commodities market, because I remember them talking about this at the ribbon cutting, but I wasn't paying that close of attention, I guess. What are some stuff you sell on the commodities market?
Everything. We sell it. Some of the stuff is not worth, it might be ground up into like playground turf.
yeah.
And then the clothing is sent to third world countries. Some of it's sent to places in the United States that are opposite seasons of ours. So, in the wintertime, we might be sending stuff down to Florida, Georgia, some of the warmer, and vice versa during the spring and stuff.
Okay.
So it either gets repurposed and reused, or it gets smushed up and made into other things. But it is a huge, that's a huge win. It's good for our environment. It's good for our nonprofit. It helps our bottom line. It helps support our mission, and it helps other nonprofits by lowering their expenses.
So, if you donate to the store, they are going to take what you have and they are going to go through there. If there's something that's mendable or repairable, typically it might not go out on the floor because it's not ready to sell. And so those items might go to the Thrift Solutions. But otherwise, everything that's donated, they do their very best to keep anything, to put it out on the floor. So hopefully somebody does purchase it. And then just like every other store, they have to rotate merchandise.
Yep.
And then that's usually when, like the bric-a-brac, purses, belts, clothing, everything like that.
It's the best place to buy Christmas sweaters.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is. And that would be an opportunity to volunteer too, because it is a huge, huge deal. They have so much Christmas stuff that if somebody wanted to volunteer to help on that day to unpack it and put Christmas trees together to put out on the floor, I can't remember which day it is.
It's
it
coming
November?
up soon. I don't remember the day, but it is coming up soon.
Probably is.
Watch our Facebook page so you can follow that.
Yep.
We were in there picking up Christmas sweaters one time, and we found some really good ones. And my wife and I were laughing pretty good. And we went to purchase them, and the employee looked at us and she's like, "What's so funny?" And we said, "Well, these the ugly sweater contest." She's like, "Those aren't ugly." And I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
Oh.
I hope my mom doesn't listen because she said that.
I don't know if
too.
we won, but they were good. They were very good.
So one last thing, just for each of you, what is the most rewarding part about working your job? What you do?
I love to tell the stories of the people we serve. Every single person I meet, I am blessed 10 times over. And I get to tell their stories. So that is probably the most rewarding thing I can do.
Awesome.
It's a great answer.
That is a great answer. You took mine.
Can't steal it.
No, I guess I have a mixture of things, I guess, because I've been there 15 years next month. And I feel like I've partially grown up while also supporting people. So what I didn't know, right here, the individuals helped teach me some of that. And there's a lot of different perspective that comes when you're providing support to individuals. We're all really one horrible, tragedy away from becoming, having a brain injury or having a physical disability. So it's keeping life in perspective and making sure that you don't take some situations for granted, and just kind of like reigniting that reason that we all want to be connected and have that connection and meet people and help people and just better the community. So there's that. So it's how they've impacted me. And then there's nothing better than walking in and getting to see somebody just so excited because of something that they got to do, somebody that they saw. We have one lady that loves Elvis, and she went to see an impersonator. And that's all that we heard about for like a week. And it was amazing. And it's just like, I just want to have that joy like every day, like over things that happen all day long. And it just happens so frequently that we
don't pay attention.
Yeah, we don't pay attention to it. So,
yep.
That's wonderful.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today. And this was a lot of fun.
And thank you for what you do for our community.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thanks.
inviting us. We love being here. We'll come back anytime.
I wasn't nervous
All right.
at all.
You did
Just
great.
sweat through the sweater.
This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital. Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market. Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarket with 2Ks.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarket.com. That's digital agent at spinmarket.com or 515-302-8026. Or visit our website at www.spinmarket.com.